Stop taking people out of context. What the media likes to do is they like to take people out of context. Charlie Kirk never said black people or black women don't have the brain processing power to be taken seriously. He talked about four specific individuals here.
You really have to wonder. In fact, if we would have said 3 weeks ago, Blake, if we would have said that Joy Reid and Michelle Obama and Sheila Jackson Lee and Ketanji Brown Jackson were affirmative action picks, we would have been called the racists. But now they're coming out and they're saying it for us. They're coming out and they're saying, I'm only here because of affirmative action. Yeah, we know. You do not have the brain processing power to otherwise be taken really seriously. You had to go steal a white person's slot to go be taken somewhat seriously. Play cut 52.
Okay. So he was talking about four specific people. Ketanji Brown Jackson, Michelle Obama, and the other two I'm not really familiar with. But this can be applied to Kamala Harris because she was a DEI nominee. She didn't have to go through a primary. When she ran by herself in 2019, she couldn't even make it to the Iowa caucus. And then in 2024, she was anointed the nominee. They pushed Biden out of the race against his own wishes. They rigged this entire Democratic primary so that way he didn't have to face anybody and potentially get the throne. The candidate that really could have dethroned him in the Democratic primary was Biden. And then they inserted Kamala Harris as the nominee. And Charlie Kirk is actually right in this in this clip. You can apply this clip to the 2024 Democratic nomination. Kamala Harris was anointed. If she had went up against RFK Jr. in a contested election, she probably would have lost.
But I rise today as a clear recipient of affirmative action, and particularly in higher education. I may have been admitted on affirmative action, both in terms of being a woman and a woman of color, but I can declare that I did not graduate on affirmative action. This is my personal story.
I hear because of action affirmative. She can't even say that. We know it's very obvious to us that you were not smart enough to be able to get it on your own.
Yeah. So like I was saying, this applied to Kamala Harris. She's not a skilled politician or a talented politician to get it on her own. She was just anointed the nominee.
I couldn't make it on my own, so I needed to take opportunities from someone more deserving. This is how arrogant Joy Reid and Ketanji Brown Jackson and Michelle Obama and Sheila Jackson Lee are. They're so narcissistic, they think this is persuasive. They think we're like, oh, of course. That's why we need affirmative action, because you have impressed us with your brilliance. Of course. Oh no, imagine the world without Joy Reid. Imagine the world without Sheila Jackson Lee or Michelle Obama or Ketanji Brown Jackson. They think this is persuasive. They think as they kind of now reveal that I'm only here because of anti-white, anti-Asian forced discrimination policies that turn me into a bitter, resentful activist that hates white people, honestly, through our policies.
Okay. So in this clip, he was talking about four specific women. He did not say black people or black women don't have the brain processing power. Just four specific type of women. But the media like to take things out of context just because they don't like somebody. Now, is it true that he might have said some homophobic things and misogynistic things when he was alive? Yes, it is true. It might be true, but so does other Republican. Like, for example, like a few days ago, I made a video that was titled Misogynistic Racism and Homophobia Don't Work Against Trump. And I showed the article of Trump being in support of gay marriage. And then he hosted a gay wedding at his house at Mar-a-Lago, and he got backlash by other. He received backlash from some conservatives. I think these people were kind of like homophobic. That's all I gotta say.